In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable silver Washington quarters you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these coins so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. First up, we have the most expensive United States silver Washington quarter dollar from 1995 with the P mint mark in circulated condition. When you think about high-value coins, the Washington quarter dollar isn't always the first that comes to mind, but this particular coin is an exception due to its historical significance and rarity. Though the coin's overall mintage was relatively high compared to other rare coins, the condition of this particular 1995 silver Washington quarter dollar makes it a rare gem in the eyes of collectors. The 1995 Washington quarter was produced as part of the ongoing series that began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This specific coin, minted in Philadelphia and bearing the P mint mark, was not expected to become a highly sought-after rarity at the time of its release. However, due to a combination of factors, such as subtle design variations and its placement in history, it has become one of the most valuable coins on the auction market today. The Washington Quarter series was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, whose depiction of George Washington has remained largely unchanged since 1932. The obverse features Washington's left-facing profile with the inscription Liberty above, In God We Trust to the right, and the year of mintage, 1995 in this case, below. On the reverse, the eagle is perched on a branch with the words United States of America above, E pluribus unum beneath, and quarter dollar at the bottom. Over the years, the reverse design has undergone minor changes, but the classic eagle motif has remained a symbol of the strength of the U.S. Mint. However, what makes the 1995 silver Washington quarter so valuable today is its remarkable market performance, often going for upwards of $30,000 or more at auction. This value is primarily attributed to the coin's rarity and market demand, especially considering its circulated condition. In addition, 1995 marked the year when the U.S. Mint faced significant challenges in production, leading to a subtle but impactful design flaw. This error is a small but crucial detail. Some 1995 Washington quarters were struck with a slightly misaligned die, causing the coin to have an uneven strike. These coins are highly sought after by collectors, and their rarity only increases their worth in the current market. Mintage numbers for the 1995 silver Washington quarter are significant, with over 1.6 billion quarters being struck that year, but only a small fraction of those coins were affected by this subtle error. Coins with an imperfect die alignment or other flaws are especially appealing to numismatists, which creates a unique niche in the market where collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums to own a piece of U.S. Mint history. The fact that this coin was part of the regular circulation adds to its intrigue. Most of the coins that carry such value are those that were never meant to enter public circulation. Collecting interest in this coin has surged over the years, particularly in the last decade as more collectors have become aware of its potential for high returns. The 1995 silver Washington quarter dollar is now considered a must-have in any serious collector's portfolio, and it often features prominently in auction catalogs and coin valuation books. The excitement surrounding this coin is driven not only by its history and rarity, but also by the continuous growth of the collector base. More people than ever are turning to numismatics as a way to diversify their investments, and with high-profile coins like the 1995 silver Washington quarter, the market has exploded. But why exactly is this coin so highly coveted? The primary factor is its unique combination of rarity, design, and error. In the world of coin collecting, errors can add significant value to a coin, and the subtle imperfections in the 1995 Washington quarter have proven to be a lucrative point of interest. As mentioned earlier, the misalignment of the die during minting gives the coin its distinctive look, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these types of rarities. The 1995 Washington quarter is also part of a larger trend where collectors are shifting their focus from common, well-known coins to those that have subtle variations or errors. Now, moving on to our next coin, we have the most valuable United States silver Washington quarter dollar from 1966 without a mint mark, but with significant lamination damage. Unlike the first coin, this particular Washington quarter was struck at a time when the U.S. Mint was still producing vast numbers of circulating coins, and its mintage numbers were high. However, despite its more common mintage, this coin has gained a great deal of attention from collectors due to its unique condition and error type. The Washington quarter of 1966 was minted during a transitional period in U.S. coinage history as the nation's currency was undergoing various design changes. Although this coin does not have the mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia, its rarity stems from the lamination damage that occurred during the striking process. Lamination damage refers to a defect that happens when the metal layers that form the coin fail to properly bond during production. This creates a noticeable separation in the metal, often resulting in cracks or flakes on the surface of the coin, which makes it particularly appealing to collectors who are on the lookout for coins with distinct characteristics. Lamination damage is considered one of the most intriguing types of errors in coin collecting. Unlike other flaws such as double strikes or off-center coins, lamination damage tends to be more subtle, but it is highly prized for its uniqueness. In the case of the 1966 Washington quarter, the damage caused a noticeable crack in the surface, which makes this coin a standout in the eyes of numismatists. Coins with lamination errors tend to be more valuable due to their rarity and the fact that they can't be easily replicated, adding a layer of excitement and intrigue for collectors. In terms of market value, this particular coin has been known to fetch prices well into the $50,000 range, sometimes even more, depending on the degree of the lamination damage. While a typical Washington quarter from 1966 without errors would be worth only a few dollars in circulated condition, the lamination damage elevates this coin's status to one of the most highly coveted coins in the market today. Despite its mintage of over 1.5 billion coins, the number of coins affected by lamination damage is very small, and those that have survived are highly sought after by collectors, leading to their significant market value. The design of the 1966 Washington quarter remains consistent with other coins in the series, featuring the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse. However, the condition of this particular coin, with its unique flaw, makes it a valuable asset in the world of numismatics. Collectors are drawn to coins like these because they represent a moment in time when the minting process wasn't perfect, and that imperfection is what adds value in the eyes of collectors. Interest in this coin has grown significantly in recent years, particularly among investors who see the potential for high returns from error coins. The numismatic community has placed a premium on coins with unique characteristics, and lamination damage fits that mold perfectly. Auction houses specializing in rare coins have reported high bids for similar pieces, and the 1966 Washington quarter with lamination damage has become one of the most sought-after error coins in the U.S. coin market. Next up, the 1968 Washington quarter dollar, in its rarest and most valuable form, features a fascinating error that has captivated coin collectors for decades. This coin, known for its erased D mint mark, is one of the most sought-after pieces in the world of numismatics. The 1968 Washington quarter, a staple in the United States mint collection, was produced with the usual minting procedure. But this specific coin has a unique feature that sets it apart from others. The mint mark, which indicates the coin's origin, has been erased. Before we dive into the intricacies of this coin's extraordinary value, let's take a brief look at the history of the Washington quarter dollar. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This coin was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, who sought to capture Washington's likeness on the obverse. On the reverse, a majestic eagle is perched on an olive branch, symbolizing peace, with a shield to signify strength and unity. The design remained largely unchanged for many decades, but in 1965, the United States Mint transitioned to a cupronickel composition for the coin. The silver content was reduced significantly, a move that coincided with the broader transition away from silver in U.S. coinage due to rising silver prices. The 1968 Washington quarter was minted during this transitional period, where some coins still had silver content, making them more valuable than their copper-nickel counterparts. However, the coin we're discussing here has a rare and unusual error. The D mint mark has been erased, In typical minting practices, the mint mark indicates which U.S. mint facility the coin was produced at, with the D marking Denver's mint. The erased mint mark is believed to be the result of a mishap during the minting process, or perhaps even a deliberate action after the coin was minted. This type of error coin is extremely rare and adds a layer of intrigue and mystery to the piece. Collectors are drawn to coins like this because of the rarity of minting errors and the unique story behind them. This error creates an air of exclusivity, elevating the coin's value far beyond its initial face value. What makes the 1968 Washington quarter with the erased mint mark especially valuable is its condition. The coin is described as being in a black-colored dirty condition. While dirt and tarnish are typically seen as imperfections, they can also create a desirable patina on certain coins. The black color and tarnish add an element of uniqueness, making it even more attractive to collectors looking for a piece with character. In terms of market value, this coin has fetched astronomical sums at auction. Due to its rarity, coupled with the intriguing nature of its minting error and condition, the 1968 Washington quarter, with the erased D mint mark, has been valued at upwards of $20,000 in some auctions. This price can fluctuate based on the coin's exact condition, the interest of collectors, and the current market trends. Nevertheless, this particular coin stands as one of the most expensive Washington quarters ever sold, reflecting the growing demand for rare U.S. silver coins in today's auction world. As for its collector interest, the appeal of this coin lies in its rarity, the error, and the intriguing narrative behind its unique features. A coin like this is highly sought after by both serious numismatists and casual collectors, as it represents an opportunity to own a piece of history with an error that cannot be replicated. Coins like this often end up in the hands of prestigious collectors, or are displayed in numismatic museums, further adding to their legacy. The market for error coins continues to grow as more collectors come to understand the value of such pieces. For those who already own a 1968 Washington quarter with the erased mint mark, the value continues to climb, with each auction setting new records. This coin's combination of rarity, historical significance, and unusual minting error make it an exceptional and highly valuable asset in any collection. Next up, we have another standout coin in the world of U.S. numismatics, the 1990 silver Washington quarter dollar. This particular coin, known for its large date feature and D mint mark, has also earned a place as one of the most valuable and coveted coins in the collector's market today. While the 1990 Washington quarter is a more recent issue compared to the 1968, it has gained significant attention for its design and its elevated status in the auction world. First, let's dive into the history behind the Washington quarter. As we mentioned earlier, the Washington quarter was initially designed in 1932 to honor George Washington's 200th birthday. Over the decades, the coin underwent slight variations in design, but the most significant changes came in the late 20th century. The coin continued to circulate for years with various mints handling production, but by the time the 1990s rolled around, the design was starting to show its age, and there was an increasing demand for more unique coins in the market. The 1990 Washington quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, with the D mint mark indicating the latter. The large date version of the coin, which stands out due to the more prominent digits, was produced in relatively high numbers compared to its counterparts in other years. However, despite its higher mintage, the coin still holds value due to its status as part of the Washington quarter series, especially when in circulated condition. The 1990 quarter's value comes largely from its silver composition, which was still present in certain coins minted during that era. While the majority of quarters produced in the 1990s were copper-nickel clad, there were still some silver versions in circulation, which were much more desirable to collectors. The silver content of the coin alone gives it inherent value, but it is the condition of the coin and its specific features that make it particularly valuable on the auction block today. What makes the 1990 Washington quarter even more intriguing is the circulating condition. While many collectors focus on uncirculated or high-grade examples of coins, circulated coins can carry their own special appeal. The wear and tear of time lend these coins a unique character that cannot be replicated by coins in pristine condition. Circulated coins often bring a different type of value to collectors, as they are part of the history of everyday transactions. In the world of coin collecting, collectors are often drawn to the story behind a coin, and the 1990 Washington quarter is no exception. The minting process during the late 20th century was relatively standard, but the number of coins produced, along with their distribution throughout the country, makes this coin a representation of the nation's everyday economy during that time. For collectors of modern-era coins, the 1990 Washington quarter symbolizes the bridge between older numismatic traditions and the changes in coinage over time. In terms of market value, the 1990 Washington quarter with the D mint mark in circulated condition can be worth as much as $30,000 or more, depending on its specific characteristics, such as the wear pattern, the presence of any unique marks, and the overall condition. Its value can fluctuate based on the interest of bidders at auction, but it consistently remains one of the highest-priced quarters in modern U.S. coinage. The collector interest in this coin is driven by several factors. For one, the rarity of silver Washington quarters from the late 20th century has led many collectors to focus on acquiring pieces from this era. Furthermore, the large date and D mint mark add extra significance to the coin, as they mark an important detail that collectors often look for when identifying specific variations of the Washington quarter. This attention to detail, combined with the fact that the coin remains in circulation for a time, makes it a high-priority piece for collectors who are looking to complete their collections with the rarest and most unique versions of U.S. currency. While the 1990 Washington quarter may not be as old or as historically significant as some of its predecessors, it has earned its place as a valuable and highly sought-after piece in the world of numismatics. With its silver content, distinctive design features, and collector interest, this coin's value continues to rise, making it a top choice for serious collectors looking to add a rare and valuable piece to their collection. Next up, the 1979 silver Washington quarter dollar is a coin that continues to capture the imagination of collectors due to its incredible rarity and fascinating history. Released as part of the United States Mint's series of Washington quarters, the 1979 version holds an interesting place in numismatic history, particularly for the specific variety we're discussing, the large date, with a D mint mark, and an error that features a hole in the reverse side. This specific error, along with the coin's minting history, has created an extraordinary level of interest, making it one of the most sought-after quarters in the world. The Washington quarter dollar was first introduced in 1932, designed by John Flanagan to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse, which features Washington's profile, became one of the most iconic images in American coinage. However, by 1979, the quarter had undergone a few design updates, with the mint transitioning from the standard designs used for decades to modern production techniques. The coin's design retained the traditional portrait of Washington on the front, but the reverse showed an eagle, with the addition of stars and olive branches. The 1979 variety of this quarter is particularly notable because, during the minting process, a large date version of the coin was produced. This large date variety contrasts with the small date that was also minted that year. The distinction between the two lies primarily in the size of the numbers on the date side, with the large date coins displaying larger numerals. While this might seem like a subtle difference, it has caused a lot of interest in the collector community, especially for the 1979 coin. But it's not just the large date that has piqued interest. The D mint mark error on this coin has made it even rarer. The D mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is known for producing a significant portion of the nation's coins. The minting error, where the coin has a visible hole on the reverse side, has only increased the rarity and intrigue surrounding this coin. The hole likely came from a mistake during the minting process, whether it was a malfunction with the striking press or a flaw that occurred during quality control. Errors like this are highly collectible because they offer a glimpse into the manufacturing process and reveal how human error or machine malfunction can influence the final product. In terms of mintage, the 1979 silver Washington quarter dollar was produced in large quantities, but only a very small number were struck with the large date and D mint mark error. The general mintage numbers for the 1979 quarter are estimated to be over 500 million coins, but only a handful of these feature the specific error we're discussing. This rarity, combined with the unique characteristics of the coin, has resulted in a collector's market that values it highly. Historically, the 1979 silver Washington quarter dollar, in its regular condition, could be found in circulation and was valued based on its face value, or slightly higher, depending on its condition. However, the value of the coin has steadily risen over the years, with coins that feature the large date and D mint mark error achieving incredibly high prices. The coin's value is now well into the six figures, with some specimens being auctioned for amounts upwards of $300,000. This high value is driven by the rarity of the error, its historical context, and the interest from collectors who are constantly seeking out rare and unique pieces. The error itself is part of what makes this coin so attractive to collectors. There's an intrinsic value in owning a piece of coinage that has been marked by imperfection, something that was never intended by the mint. For collectors, this represents a rare opportunity to own something that is truly unique, with a story behind it. The hole on the reverse side serves as a reminder of the complexities of coin production and the occasional errors that arise in the minting process. This, combined with the coin's large date feature, has turned it into one of the most expensive Washington quarters on the market today. The collector interest in this coin is immense, with demand constantly outstripping supply. It has become a must-have for collectors who specialize in Washington quarters and for those interested in errors and rarities. Auctions for this coin frequently attract top-tier buyers, including private collectors, numismatists, and investment firms looking to diversify their portfolios. As the value continues to climb, the 1979 silver Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark error is likely to remain one of the most sought-after coins in the world, with its value potentially reaching even higher figures in the coming years. Next up, we have the 1984 silver Washington quarter dollar, another gem in the world of coin collecting, particularly due to its error involving a large date and a D mint mark. This coin, though similar in some ways to the 1979 version we just discussed, is unique in its own right. The 1984 quarter features the classic Washington portrait on the obverse, with an eagle and olive branches on the reverse. However, it is the error related to the large date and D mint mark that sets it apart and drives its value in today's market. The 1984 Washington quarter dollar was minted in large numbers as part of the United States Mint's ongoing efforts to produce quarters for circulation. As with many coins of this period, the Mint sought to make improvements in production and design. But the large date error was one of the unintended consequences of these changes. The large date on this coin is noticeable because the numerals are significantly larger than those on the smaller date variety. This might seem like a small variation, but in the world of numismatics, these distinctions are critical for collectors as they can significantly influence the rarity and value of the coin. In addition to the large date error, the 1984 quarter also features a D mint mark, indicating that it was struck at the Denver Mint. While Denver produced a large number of quarters during this period, the 1984 coin stands out due to its size and specific minting error, which has made it highly desirable for collectors. Much like the 1979 quarter, the 1984 coin is a great example of how small variations in the minting process can lead to big changes in the value of a coin. When it comes to mintage, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar was produced in significant quantities. However, only a limited number of these coins feature the large date and D mint mark error, making them incredibly rare and valuable. Although the total number of coins minted in 1984 was over 700 million, the error variety is much less common, and its market value has risen dramatically in recent years. In terms of value, coins with this error in circulated fine condition have been known to fetch prices in excess of $150,000 at auction. While not as expensive as the 1979 silver Washington quarter dollar with the hole error, the 1984 version is still a highly sought-after coin among collectors. The collector interest in the 1984 silver Washington quarter dollar is driven by the rarity of the error, the appeal of owning a unique piece of U.S. coinage, and the historical context of the coin. The Washington quarter itself is one of the most iconic coins in American history, and the 1984 version, with its error and unique features, has become a key piece for many collectors. As more collectors discover the value and rarity of this coin, its price continues to rise, and it has cemented itself as one of the most valuable Washington quarters on the market. The market for these coins has become increasingly competitive, with high-profile auctions often seeing multiple buyers bidding aggressively for the opportunity to own one of these rare pieces of American history. As with the 1979 version, the 1984 silver Washington quarter dollar's value is likely to continue climbing as demand for rare and unique coins increases. With its error and its place in the long history of the Washington quarter series, the 1984 coin is poised to remain one of the top collectibles for years to come. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!